Okay, guys, we are back in Picks and Bans in Game 2. Actually, we had Down to Frag take down Cognitive in Game 1 in a very exciting and landsliding match here. And straight off, we see once again the Respect Freya ban coming out from Down to Frag. They do not want to deal with that god.
Yeah, Anister's Freya is just tremendous. I mean, back in the days when he was root, and way back in the days when he was a 2-1-2 lane, we would just see him in lane with the Freya and just do very vicious things in lane and as well as throughout the game. So no surprise to see that respect ban. Agony and Gab are going to be banned out by Cognitive, and I'm thinking this last ban is going to be Jean Kui. I mean, MLC Stealth's Jean Kui is just unreal.
Yeah, the nerf has not come through for those who don't know. Jean Kui.
Not yet.
Yeah, next patch, which I believe is it tonight or tomorrow?
It's going to be later tonight.
Okay, so Jean Kui will not be able to use abilities while he is ulting, but that nerf is not gone through yet, and we do see a Thanatos ban. Jean Kui available, still a very strong pick, but Zeus and Odin are also available, and we saw that devastating. I think that's what Cognitive is worried about right now. They do grab Zeus. They cannot have Down to Frag get that Zeus Odin combo once again because it was just so strong.
Yeah, it really was strong. And, definitely another thing to mention is both Omega and MLC Stealth can play a very mean Zeus. So over on the opposite side, it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to go ahead and elect to pick up Odin in response. Last game, we thought that Odin was going to be picked up by Cognitive in response to the Zeus pickup, but it wasn't. So I won't sit here and act like Odin is going to definitely be picked up by the members of Down to Frag, but I wouldn't want what I did last game to happen to me if I were them. And so Jean Kui Odin is going to be picked up, which are two very strong characters for sure.
Yeah, very strong characters. They they had to pick the Odin here. That was a forced pick. Like you said, and Jean Kui just too strong to not pick up here. You can't give Cognitive both Zeus and Jean Kui, and I feel like they couldn't pick anything else other than that at this point.
Yeah, for sure. And, Zeus is definitely going to go on to Stealth. Oh, no, I'm wrong. Zeus is going to go on to Omega. Ra is going to go on to Stealth. Stealth really likes that Ra pickup. And Anister's going to pick up Tyr in the jungle. And that's going to be a very strong lineup. On the opposing side, we see Sun Wukong again. Now, I'm a little surprised that, they didn't pick up the Sun Wukong on Cognitive. But he will be back on Rambozo, and he will be bringing the pain again for the members of Down to Frag. Meanwhile, Neith is going to be the second pickup here. So outside of the Zeus pickup, it's pretty much the same lineup we had last game.
Yeah, but that Zeus pickup is probably the biggest one, not allowing Down to Frag to have that combo. They do have Jean Kui Odin combo, which can be just as devastating, but Jean Kui will have to be stuck in there with him this time. And an On Her is highlighted, something we haven't seen in a while since AMC has started dominating the scene, and a Guan Yu, a very strong push lane coming out here. And it is going to be locked in. We haven't... Oh, I lied. It's Barracuda on Apollo.
Very strong person with him. Yep. You could not let him have it. You just couldn't. You couldn't not let Snoopy's Little Cupid have Afro. And so I was actually wrong. MLC Stealth is going to be playing Zeus, and Ra is going to be played by Omega.
Yeah, Ra just too strong in the solo lane. Pretty much counters everything in Zeus. Why he is so good in the mid lane is because he can test Gold Fury Harpies better than almost any other mage, because he's able to chain lightning them, and if you're standing near them, you're going to get a stack or two on you. If he gets another stack, they set up crazy kill potential looking for the detonates, or even if he just throws his lightning on you to get the last tick and then detonate you in it, which is a very common Zeus tactic, you're in for a bad time at those mid Harpies.
So if you're Cognitive Gaming, you're looking at last game, you're looking at, what kind of happened, you're looking at the team comp, it's pretty much the same. What are you thinking?
I'm going to have to... you know what? Before we actually saw the Bacchus not work out for Cognitive Gaming, and Dare to Care loves Guan. I don't ever see him play Bacchus, but I always see him playing Guan. It's a god he is very comfortable with and something he does very well with. And I think we're going to see better play coming out from this dual lane this time, which was completely dominated in the last game. And I think that's going to be the biggest factor, is not only if they can stay relevant, but if they can control it and actually win lane this time.
Looking at the lineup, I'm actually going to say that the biggest thing we're going to notice is the change-up in the mid lane battle. Zeus is, in my opinion, a much stronger mage as far as team fighting and just overall presence than Poseidon. Poseidon,
yes,
while he does have the Quacken, or Kraken as it is originally called, it's just not as continually a threat as much as Zeus is, with just 3 basic attacks and an ability.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, and I think the biggest problem is that Poseidon was not able to get off his Quacken on who he wanted last game. Aurora was constantly just in Stell's face, forcing him to use the ultimate on him or risk death, and then he just caged it for bonus protections there. We are going to toss you over to a waiting screen, though, unless you have one more thing to say, Shadow Boy, before we get Game 2 of these finals rolling.
Aphrodite OP, please nerf.
Aphrodite OP, please nerf.
Put up the waiting screen.
Alright guys, once again we are back and ready to rumble. We have Cognitive Gaming in the blue. We're going to see Omega in that solo lane playing Raw, MLC Stealth in the mid on Zeus. We're going to see the dual lane of Barracuda on Apollo, supported by Dare to Care playing Guan. And to round it out, we're going to have Andister in the jungle on one of his favorite gods, Tyr.
And over in the red jerseys, we have Aurora playing Odin in the jungle. We have Failure by Design playing Neath ADC. We have Rambozo playing Zhang Kui in the mid lane. We have Mini Pern playing support Sun Wukong. And we have Snoopy's Little Cupid playing Aphrodite in the solo lane. And for those of you who don't know, this is a best of 3 between Cognitive and Down to Frag. This is the second round of 3. First game went to the members of Down to Frag.
Yeah, and they played a dominating game, taking an early 5K lead. They eventually got it to 10K, and while Cognitive was able to steal Fire Giant, Down to Frag at the time had a 13K gold lead. They countered them under a tower, wiped them, pushed, eventually got the win, and Down to Frag just played a very good game against the reigning North American champions, not in this tournament, but in the standard Smite game tournaments, which are a little bit bigger than us, but we do hope to get up there one day.
Hashtag big dreams.
Big dreams, alright. And Down to Frag, like we said before, Down to Frag has drafted the same lineup, but they do have this this Zhang Kui instead of the Zeus, which I believe is okay, but I think the biggest thing is that Cognitive Gaming now has Zeus instead of the Poseidon, like we were talking about in lobby.
Yeah, and another thing you have to mention is MLC Stealth is playing that Zeus, and MLC Stealth is very comfortable with Zeus. He as well as he is with Jean Kui, so he knows how to play Jean Kui. He knows how to go up against Jean Kui, and he knows how to play Zeus. So it's going to be really interesting to see this mid lane matchup. Actually, he's already going to be bringing Jean Kui down to a very dangerous amount of health. So off the bat, we're already seeing the dominance that MLC Stealth is wanting to put onto the lane.
Aurora, though, gets knocked up by Anister over here in solo lane. Meanwhile, what happened in left lane was that Barracuda and Dare to Care were able to secure their buff and then immediately invade down to Frags, keeping them away from it and poking them out. Actually, let's take a look. This Dare to Care is very low. It looks like we actually have more action in the dual lane. Very uncommon, actually, for early games. Most likely we see the damage going out in solo lane. But it looks like it's just going to be a stalemate.
Yeah, and that's a counter to the factor that we're talking about two healers in the solo lane, and actually Anister's going to go ahead and push over Aurora, who's going to just casually walk away. Looks like he's going to be just fine. But yeah, you've got two healers in the solo lane, so both bruisers and the jungler are going to be just fine. And they're just... But yeah, we haven't talked about this solo lane matchup here. We have healer A versus healer B.
Raw wins. Raw's gonna win until I'm getting their names confused. Snoopy's little Cupid is going to be able to full clear, which I believe is about level 6 or 7. That means he's going to use his birds and then going to use back off, and the back off is going to have to do enough damage to basically kill the minions before Raw is able to heal them up.
And over in the mid lane, we're going to see our first scuffle.
Minipern in a bad spot, though. Gets knocked up, doesn't even get to hog him, and they are stolen by Anister along with First Blood going to Dare to Care. He got condensed on there 3-1. I'm not sure if there was call-outs from his team, but he just put himself in a rough position and paid for it, unfortunately. First Blood to Cognitive Gaming this time.
Yeah, I think what he thought was going on possibly was that the members of Cognitive Gaming were going to elect to try and contest the right camps while he tries to ninja the left camps. But what it actually happened was they all three ganged up on him and he died.
Yeah, there wasn't much he can do there.
Sad story of a monkey that didn't.
Yeah, not much he could do there once he was in position. The best he could hope was honestly to get the mid camps, but not even able to do that because Anister had him knocked up and then hogged it himself. But not too much of a detriment, though. Only about an 800 gold lead. That's First Blood and maybe a little bit more farming, but